After the 4th Foot retreated from the North Bridge, they rejoined with the rest of the column. Having finished searching for military supplies, the British began the long march back to Boston. But the battle was far from over.
After getting as good conveniences for the wounded as we could, and having done the business we were sent upon, we set out upon our return. The country was an amazing strong one, full of hills, woods, and stone walls, which the rebels did not fail to take advantage of. In this way, we marched between 9 and 10 miles, their numbers increasing from all parts, while ours was reducing by deaths, wounds, and fatigue, and we were totally surrounded with such an incessant fire as it's impossible to conceive. Our ammunition was likewise near expended. In this critical situation, we perceived the 1st Brigade coming to our assistance. As soon as the rebels saw this reinforcement and tasted the field pieces, they retired.
We were almost overwhelmed, and then we were rescued at Lexington by a relief column, and then we retreated all the way further to what was called Monotony at the time, which is now called Arlington. There was a huge battle in Arlington, just right on the basically Main Street in Arlington.
It was here that the Needham militia would come face to face with the Redcoats. But that's a story for another day.
The initial attack was 800 men or so. It was the Light Company and the Grenadier Company, so they gathered all the best of the best, and they sent them out on this run to Concord, basically, to try to do things before people could respond. But because everyone responded with the Minutemen, they were rescued by the regular soldiers in a much bigger force. So there were thousands of soldiers who marched out to help those 800. But by the end of the day, I believe it was roughly 300 killed and the wounded. And remember, there was no carts, very few horses, so they were dragging wounded guys back to Boston. People were fighting from house to house, right, being ambushed over and over and over again on the way back. From the British perspective of everything went wrong. There wasn't supposed to be a war that day. And then finally, when we got close enough to Boston, there were British ships in the harbor that were using their heavy cannon to drive the Americans back. And we retreated into Boston, and we did not leave Boston. By the end of the day, there were something like 20 to 30,000 Americans around the city of Boston, keeping us trapped in Boston. And we held on to Boston until evacuation day, when the Americans dragged cannons all the way back from Fort Ticonderoga in New York. They dragged them to Dorchester Heights, set them up, started shooting at the British ships, and the British said, "That's it, we're done." And we packed up and left Boston. And as far as Boston was concerned, that was the end of the war.